Hello, boys and girls. For fifth grade math today, we are starting a new chapter, 14 in your books, pages 777, 778. We're going to be talking about graphing in the coordinate plane. I wanted to find a few words for us that should make this lesson and this topic much easier. And think about some of the graphing we've already done. We've actually done coordinate graphing, if you think about it, with some of our stitch art when we did 2D and 3D stitchery. So a few things. Coordinate, if you think of athletics, you are coordinated when things move together. To coordinate is to put together, to work together, things like that. So when you're graphing in a coordinate plane, things are coordinated. They are working together. They're from a set point, okay? A couple other terms you're going to need to know. An axis is like a reference line. And when you graph, think of like streets, like on a map, okay? So let's say there's Main Street, and let's say there's Central Street. Oops, if I could spell it right, Central. And where they come together is their intersection, okay? Think of those as axis, each street. Well, when we're doing coordinate planes, we call our horizontal coordinates, we call that our x-axis. And when we do a vertical line, our vertical plane, that's our y-axis, okay? Where they come together, their intersection of x and y is at our origin, our beginning point, okay? An origin is the beginning of something. And at this point, we have a value. The value of x at the intersection of x and y is 0. And actually, the value of y at x and y is also 0, okay? Now, I can label points going from this origin, values on my x. Let's just say I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really important to remember that their intervals are going to be the same length, same distance, okay, on our x and our y, so we can see them in an organized way. And so I have x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, y1, y2, y3, y4, y5. I know many of you have seen something like this before. At this point, they are both 0, and eventually we can do this in 4 quadrants. Here we just have 1, where x and y are, but we could make x go negative, so -1, -2, -3, -4, and we can make y go negative, which gives us a whole area to work with in 2-dimensional of x or y being negative or positive. But for purposes today, let's stay positive with both of these, okay? So we're going to learn the term x-axis, y-axis, axis. We're also going to learn something called ordered pairs, which is another way of saying coordinates. Ordered pairs. Okay. Now, if something has order, something goes before something else. It comes in an order, okay? Whenever you're doing ordered pairs, there's going to be 2 because it's a pair, and the order is always going to be x first, y second, okay? That's our ordered pair. So when we find something on our map, let's say our coordinate plane, let's just say I'm going to take a value of x is 2. So here's on this x-axis 1, 2. And let's say y is 4. So x is 2, 1, 2 over. And then I have to go up 4 because y is going to be 4 right here. So here's 2x. X is 2, y is 1. X is 2, y is 2. X is 2, y is 3. X is 2, y is 4. There's my point. And I'm going to label it 2, 4. X is 2. Remember, my first point is always my x in my ordered pair. And my second point is always y. Y is 4. I can show that here by doing a dotted or dashed line. X is 2. It's right over the value 2 on the horizontal axis. And y is 4. Okay? What if we did another point? We did x is 4 and y is 1. That would be right here. X is 4, y is 1. I connect that to the x-axis where x is 4. I connect the point to the y-axis where y is 1. X is 4, y is 1. Okay? So, with that in mind, look at page 777. It says, on the first grid, plot a point where 2 lines intersect. Name the location of the point. Plot another point. Work with a partner. Take turns to describe locations. All they're trying to get you to do is get familiar with a coordinate plane. So I'm going to pretend I'm different people from the class, and I want you to think through on the video here where they're labeling these points, okay? I'm going to erase the two that we already drew, okay? And first we'll do a green point right here. So let's say this is Rhea. Rhea labels this point. Well, what's the ordered pair for this point, okay? First I find my x, because x is always first. It looks like it's right above the 1. For purposes of this lesson, we'll have everything as whole numbers. Nothing will be between intervals. So there won't be like a 2 1/3, a 3 1/4, 7.1, okay? It's all gonna be on whole numbers. So x is 1 and y is 5. So Rhea has labeled the point 5, 1. Let's say next Evan comes up, and Evan takes the red marker, and I'm hoping you're gonna see this. Sometimes the red comes through really light on the video. And Evan does this point right here. I'll make it nice and big. Hopefully you can see that. And we're gonna find out what that's connected to. If you look at it, you make a guess, and then we're gonna connect it to both the x and y axis. And we see above the x, it's at 3. Ordered pair, x always goes first. And next to the y, it's also at 3. So that's the point 3, 3. And lastly, let's say Kokoro comes up and she wants to label a point, and she does one up here. Let's say right here, okay? And we try to figure out what that point is. Well, that is, oh, by the way, Mr. A notices he made a mistake here. Okay, so what happens when I go too fast. I labeled Rhea's point incorrectly, so I'll come back to Kokoro's in a second. Okay, it's okay to make mistakes as long as we hopefully find them. I said x is always first, and I labeled the y first on this one. On Rhea's point, it's actually 1, 5, not 5, 1, because the order x is always first. It's above the 1, next to the 5. You might have solved that already. If not, at least we got it now. Now let's go back to Kokoro's. It looks like it's going to be above the 5, and then next to the 4. So 5, 4. Okay? Turning your books to page 778. It says a map shows the location of landmarks and it has guides for finding them. In a similar way, a coordinate grid, which is like what we drew here, is used to graph and name the location of points in a plane. You can use ordered pairs to locate points on a coordinate grid. When your parents drive places, they're really just doing this, just with streets, okay? They're saying he lives on Hayman Avenue at the intersection of Hayman and, I don't remember all the streets around here, Hayman and Weatherfield, okay? So that's a coordinate plane. Now, streets aren't always perfectly vertical or perfectly horizontal. Sometimes they curve, sometimes they slant. So it's a little different, and we do live in the middle and not on exact intersections. We might live at 207 Central, and the corner is 200 Central. But you kind of get the idea. It says a coordinate grid has an x-axis and a y-axis. We did that. The place where the y-axis and x-axis intersect is called the origin. We did that. So let's move to page 779, because it looks like we covered all this so far. And I'm not sure why, but on this board we have, I don't know if it shows up on the video, but we have these markings right here. So I'm going to just see if we can clean that little spot, because it's hard to see. Take a tissue. There, that's better. It's like really gross right there. It had like these long drip marks or whatever. So hopefully it's a little easier to see now on the board. Ew, look at that, ew. Okay, moving right along before they come up from lunch. Page 779, you're graphing point E at 0, 5. Do you move to the right 0 units or do you move up 0 units? Okay, remember x comes first. So if your point is 0, 5, that means 0, x is 0 right here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, this is y, this is x. So if my point is 0, 5, I'm trying to find, here's 0, here's 5. So that point would be right there on my y-axis. So to answer the question, I move 0 units to the right and I go up 5 along the y-axis. Question 2, what ordered pair names the origin on any coordinate grid? We already said that, 0, 0. Question 3, describe how to graph point K at 5, 4. It's going to be 5 units to the right of the origin and then 4 units up. 5, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 over and then 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 units up. So there's 5, 4. Okay. Problem 4, write the ordered pair for each point. Letter B, you notice it's above the 3 and next to the 2, so it's going to be ordered pair 3, 2. Point A is just the origin, 0, 0. 6.53 is letter D, and 7.14 is letter C. Okay, I know I kind of went fast. Hopefully it makes sense. We've been exposed to these concepts before. Your task is to finish pages 779 and 780. If you want to start the homework in class, it's going to be 781 and 782. Good luck, and we'll talk to you soon.